Nobody told me that this existed. And apparently I'm the only one. I feel like I've been living under a rock. I feel like it's a classic stereotype for a lot of different musicians to not like country. I've been in that boat myself, but that's before I heard this. Oh, what a beautiful sound. But so far, okay, it's nice, right? But then lineman for the county, and I drive the main road. Okay, up until this point, I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is really beautiful. I have not heard this before. Now, many of you are shaking a fist at your screen going, how on earth have you never heard this before? This is the song that apparently Bob Dylan called the greatest song ever written. It's from Glenn Campbell's album Wichita Lineman from 1968, but it was written by Jimmy Webb. Unsurprisingly, Rick Beato has had some conversations with Jimmy Webb, probably that I didn't see because I didn't have any idea who Jimmy Webb was or what this song was. And so far, it's just really beautiful. We're in the key of F. And we're keeping that F as a pedal tone. A pedal tone is when we keep the same note in the bass, even as we change chords. So for example, right here, we have this beautiful F major 7 chord, and then it kind of goes to like a, what this really is a 5 chord, but you could look at it like G minor 7, right? That's what I'm hearing there. Beautiful F major 7 chord. Yeah. Right back to F major 7. And it's a perfect lead-in, right? It's just like, essentially, it's the same as going 1, 5, right? There's where our 5, it's a sus chord when it's a 5, but we're just keeping our 1 in the bass. That's that pedal tone we were talking about here. So far, beautiful, right? The first place we start is on the 4 chord, B flat major. And the melody is the major 7. That's just... And it goes right up to the 9th. So you get 2 really beautiful color tones right there. And then the chord changes start to fall to an A minor 7. And then right to the 5 chord. But then... Searching in the sun for another overload. I hear you. Okay. That was unexpected. When I was listening to this for the first time, I'm thinking, oh, this is really beautiful. Where's it going? And then it starts going in a couple different directions, and we end up there. Let me show you what that is. Searching in the sun for another overload. 4 chords, right? What are they? D minor, A minor, G, and then I think it's like a D sus right there. Searching in the sun. Yeah, so I don't know if it's explicitly a sus chord, but it does feel like a sus chord before landing on D major. Now, here's what's really interesting about that. We started in the key of F, okay? We went to the 4 chord, the 3 chord, and then a sus 5 chord, and then immediately turned around and we went minor 6, minor 3, but then 2, and that 2 normally in the key of F, the 2 would be minor, but here, now it's major. And this chord wouldn't be so unusual if it didn't feel like it's now setting up a D major resolution. Where are we going next? Surely back to F. Singing in the wire. Well, that's a C major chord. It could be an F. Oh, this is definitely not F. Woo! All right, look, here's what's going on here. We have modulated from F major to D major, but we did it in a way that you almost don't even notice, right? The way these chords follow one another is so seamless and it's so smooth because nothing sticks out as a setup to a new key. Does that make sense? Like all the while, we're just playing... None of that sounds like, hey, we're going somewhere new now. All we do now is we just take this and we go. go right to a C major chord. Now, what's beautiful about that, let's say we've gone to the key of D, which we have, but in the key of D, C major is not in the naturally occurring triads that are in D major. D major, E minor, F sharp minor, G major, A major, B minor, C sharp diminished, and then back to D. Those are the chords we expect. We do not expect a C major. Now, what this could be doing, it could be setting up like the classic double plagal cadence where we go 4-1, and then that is the 4-4-1, right? So that could be something that we're doing there. Very commonly used chord in stuff like this. But like, here's the thing. C major is the 5 chord of F. The second we play that C major chord, it's almost like we don't know, are we gonna stick with this new D major thing that we've started, or are we gonna go back to F? There hasn't really been an obvious shift in one direction or the other. But listen to the way this works itself around and goes back to what feels like the new home, and you don't even realize that it's a new home. I'll explain in a second. Listen to this. There's our C major. Now the next chord we're gonna go to is G major over B, and then, woo! Oh my God! Is still on the line. Oh man! I know I need a small vacation. This song, it's perfect. This is a perfect song. I don't know if you just caught what happened there. So many things happened there, and it was executed in such a simple way, but it's so beautiful the way this all works together. Okay, let's go over it again. So when we started that section that's sort of in a new key, we went to C major, right? We just came from D. We went to C major, and now we're gonna do this nice little walk down. And we're gonna get the minor 4 chord in the key of D, that's G minor. And then we're gonna land on D major, but we're using the 5th in the bass, and that allows it to feel like it's home, but it's not fully settled yet. And then we get a 5 chord, a proper sus5 chord, right? You could call this like a G major over A. It's a very classic sound to play a sus5. And then we could get a resolution to D major, and it would work perfectly. It would sound beautiful, but that's not what we get. Instead, we get B flat major, C major, which could resolve itself to D major, and that would make perfect sense. Flat 6, flat 7, classic sound. We've all heard that a million times. But instead, here's what we get. We go B flat major, C major, and then we hold it there for a moment. We go B flat major again, but now we're gonna go back up to C, but it's not gonna be C major this time. It's gonna be C7 sus. Now, this has immediately become the 5 chord of our original home bass of F major. So it could resolve to F major and make perfect sense right there, but that's not what we do. Do you remember when we started, the verse doesn't begin on the 1 chord, it starts on the 4. So you betcha, we're gonna go from that 5 chord, C, back yet again to B flat. And then we start the second verse. This is brilliant. This is like I said, this is a perfect song. It has to be. B flat major, that's the 4 chord, minor 3 chord, and now we get the 5, C sus. Now we're gonna go D minor, A minor, G major. Now we're going to a new place. There we get the D sus, and it finally sort of resolves itself there. And now we're gonna go down a whole step, C major. Where are we now? We don't quite know yet. But now it starts to become more concrete that we're in D, and we get that beautiful minor 4 chord finally emerging to D over the 5, proper 5 chord, and then B flat. What are we gonna do here? We're gonna climb up. Surely we're gonna go back to D major. No! Back to B flat, and now we get a 5 chord in the original key, but back to the 4 chord that we started on. It's brilliant! But it don't look like rain. Oh man, yeah. minor 6, minor 3, hold on, 2, but it's major, new key. Yep, we're going to G major. And now we get this gorgeous downward motion. And I want you for all time. B in the bass, B flat in the bass to make that G minor chord, and then our 1 chord with 5. sus5
is still on the line.
Wow. And then the classic bass from the 60s. It has a name, I forget what it was. It's like, is it Dorico bass? Is that what it's called? Yeah. Notice the bass solo here is just playing the melody, just in a different context. It's gorgeous. Same thing. Oh man, and it's so simple, it's so short. We don't need a huge complex chord progression here. Yes. Oh, sus5, but then we get... Oh. B flat to C, back to B flat. These strings are absolutely gorgeous. And then fade out. Tell me this is not a perfect song. I mean, it's absolutely stunning. This is apparently country music from the 60s. I have missed an era, that is for sure. And I'm gonna have to do some homework now because, oh my God, I'm astounded. I'm astounded at how much I was struck by this when I heard it for the first time. I mean, Glen Campbell's voice, phenomenal, absolutely great. And the chord progression that Jimmy Webb wrote here, and the way that it interacts with the melody, which we didn't even really cover that much in this video because I was so taken aback by the chord structure of this thing. I mean, it's absolute perfection. And I've been listening to it kind of on repeat for quite a while because I can't get enough of this sound. It is perhaps the perfect song. But I want to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Is country music something that you've even taken a whack at in your time listening to music? Because for me, actually, you'd be surprised to know this.
You should know this too.
I grew up on country music because the place where I come from is like, I grew up on a farm. I come from a very, very small town, and riding the bus to school every morning, that was what was on the radio, and we loved it. That was what we grew up on. But it was kind of like the more pop country of the 90s into the 2000s and stuff like that. So definitely not what a lot of people consider to be real country music, right? And if this is real country music, I've got to dive a lot deeper because it's not something I'm super familiar with, to be honest. And I can't believe I'm this late to the party. It seems like everybody's already covered this, but I heard it and I was astounded and I was blown away, and I wanted to cover it for all of you. So hopefully you enjoyed this little breakdown of Wichita Lineman by Jimmy Webb, performed by Glen Campbell. And I'm going to keep listening to this on repeat, and I hope you have discovered something new today as well. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we will see you in the next one.